Okay, so it's 324 and it's Monday. I can't believe some of these days it seems like it just spins through them really quick. But then I'll sit there and think, oh my gosh, I still gotta make this last 8 more days, 9 more days till payday. Well, today's the 30th at 324. And so that means the 9th in the morning I'll go shopping, but all my stuff I gotta make it last till then. It's just like, God, I don't know. Sometimes nothing, I don't know. I don't know. But you know about this stomach thing. So I'm having whatever, this weird thing with my stomach going. And so I was trying like the fasting, but the thing is I was sitting there yesterday because I'm drinking my tea. The so what I had done was what day was that then? Saturday I got up and I had been getting all this stuff about the food, how we should eat, fasting, all this stuff. I kept getting these videos about it. So it was on my mind, you know. It's like, I just need to not eat and see what happens, you know. And so, and try and get my stomach to, or my body to heal. So to get that autophagy, uh, where your cells start eating themselves, you have to do like a dead ass fast, like with just water. And so I was like, um, confirmation. So I was like, the, so the first day, I had eaten in the morning and my stomach only felt worse and I just kept being super nauseous, having all this weird stuff, these weird pains. Like if I take a drink of something, my stomach would like freak the fuck out. And so I was just like, what the fuck? And the nausea, man. So the so whatever, I decided, okay, well, I'm just not gonna eat the rest of the day. And then I started thinking, well, I'm just gonna fast. I'm just gonna do a fast. So I'm going in that direction, right? So the rest of the day, I don't think I ate anything. I know I didn't eat anything for the rest of the day, but I was trying to think, what did I drink? Um, See that, and that's the thing is, I know I drank some stuff because I've been drinking the kombucha hardcore because I keep thinking if my gut biome is all out of balance, I need to get it back in balance. And the grocery store stuff I don't think is strong as, you know, my own that I made, I know for sure. So anyways, I had some made, so I've been pouring it into the ones that are from the store. So mixing them so that they're stronger, but they still taste really good. So I was drinking that. Like, I don't remember. I know I wasn't just drinking water, but I decided to lay off this CHDX because I was like, because I drink so much of this copper water and iron water and stuff. And I take all this magnesium, which there's more stuff about selenium, I want to say. But so I was like, well, maybe they're not mixing well. Maybe that's the problem in my stomach. Maybe my stomach is having battle over it. And I was like, I don't know how long one's in my stomach. I don't know the whole process. And so I decided I was going to lay off that. So anyways, this one, whatever, Monday, Saturday, let's just call it Saturday. So Saturday I went through that thing. And so I had just eaten stuff in the morning. So then I'm thinking, okay, well, if I just do a fast, if I just don't eat, if I can just make it till tomorrow. If I could just make it till tomorrow, that's good. A lot of good stuff. And so that's what I did. But in the morning, see, I drank all this stuff. Well, then that makes it not really a true fast. Because I'm sitting here thinking, well, how can that really be a true fast? I'm drinking all this, my body's having to process all this all morning. So that can't really be a fast. And so this is my, this isn't when I'm starving and obsessing about food. And so I was just like, are you really fasting anyways? I mean, you are drinking that. Maybe a little yogurt, that couldn't hurt. So maybe have some yogurt because you're not really fasting anyways. And maybe just go maybe just liquids. Just do a liquid diet for, like, I'm going through all this process, right? And so And then it was, but this was yesterday. So I made it through the one day, so that I'd eaten in the morning, and didn't eat in the afternoon. So I get up yesterday, and then like first thing, my stomach's growling. I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be rough. And so start obsessing, thinking about food every second. And I'm just focused on, trying to. I drank a couple kombuchas. I drank, I don't know, 4 or 5 cups of my powders concoctions, which I've added two new things to that, to my spices, turmeric and cayenne. They have good benefits. Before I had taken it because I had turmeric, but then I took it out because I saw a doctor talking about turmeric is the synthetic version of ginger, and ginger is more potent and has real benefits. Turmeric, it doesn't, but then you see these 10 zillion doctors. Turmeric reduces inflammation, so you should drink it every morning, put it with honey and all this stuff. So, anyways, I'm out of back in. So, let me think for a sec. Okay, so then by yesterday afternoon, well, it was late afternoon. It was like 4:30 because usually I don't even. Usually my time period of eating is like fucking eat nonstop all morning, like anything, and especially sweet stuff. I'm just eat, like I'm freaking starving, and then once it gets to like noon to 2, I usually eat like whatever I'm going to eat. And then I don't eat anything. Except sometimes I'll like be starving in the middle of the afternoon, like 4:30. So then I'll eat something like, I don't know, some peanut butter crackers or cookies or something, like something small thing. But I try not to eat for hours before I'm going to bed because I always do intermittent fasting, is what they call that. And so, but to me, it's like it's our natural cycle to eat while the sun's coming up, and then and then when it starts to go down, you start winding down on what you're consuming too, is what makes sense to me. And so but so I was like starving like around 4:30, and I'm thinking of all this stuff I'm gonna make, and then whatever in my conversation I'm like, okay, just go eat, it's fine. So, so I made a quesadilla, because I wasn't really fasting anyways. I was just taking a break off food, so off solid food, and so I think I did have a couple bites of the yogurt too, but so my quesadilla, made it with, I had some peppers, so I sauteed some pepper. My onion I was gonna go with onion too. It was rotted. Ugh, it was so disgusting. And so I put some cilantro. Cilantro is really good for you too. And so I put some cilantro and some peppers, and then just made a quesadilla. And me and the dogs ate it because I can't eat anything without them joining in. So I had that, and so I had cheese and tortillas and the pepper and some butter, some oil. And so, anyways, it was like as soon as I finished eating it, and I came and I sat down, I pick up my phone and look at it. And it is weird. It's like we are all on this phone line together or something. We're all, like Cheryl has said that she can think of, and Debbie said this before too, like, and I talked about this years ago too. I said, you could send me messages by focusing and then see if I answer them. But we somehow are on this thing where you can think of something and then it goes like that. Like I'll be talking about it. So, anyways, but that happens to me too. And so I'd been having this whole thing all day with this fasting thing. Finally, sit down, look at my phone, pick it up, and Amy has sent me a video. So I go on, look at it. It's a girl talking about fasting, and she's talking about dirty fasting or clean fasting. And so I'm like, oh, this is funny because this is just like what my conversation was all day in the, thing about the fasting. I was looking at it, like through a microscope. I was looking at it close in and really thinking about it. And so this girl said that clean fasting, I think, is just water. When you're just doing water. And that's when you have the autophagy happen. That's where your cells start eating the bad cells and stuff. And so, And for that one guy who lost all that weight, it ate all his extra skin. Like his skin was able to go back to normal from doing this autophagy. So the, but she said there's dirty fasting. And she said dirty fasting is, I can't remember the whole thing. I think it's when you drink stuff. But she said, but you can eat in it. But it's like a certain amount of time. And then you have to eat something that's really high fat, no carbs though. So you had a tortilla. So I think that would be considered the carbs. But she said something that is like 60 calories, which, but she said with high fats. So cheese and butter and all that. And that's kind of a keto thing. So it's like a keto. But if you want to, she's talking about going into ketoacidosis and all that stuff. So anyways, if your mind keeps, thinking about fasting and all these different things, but it was trippy because I had been thinking about that not really being a clean fast. It's not a clean fast because I'm not just drinking water. So what is it really doing? And then this video, so this girl, whatever the stuff she said, it was just weird because I was having that whole thing all day, and then Amy sent me that video. And, it was just weird. So there's so many weird things. And then, oh yeah, there's been no moon here. There's for however long, but weirdly enough, yesterday when I was outside in the daytime, I could see the moon up there, and it was like a sliver kind, like a crescent, not the little tiny crescent, the more bigger crescent, but not the halfway. And so, but no moon, it's so dark too. And there's some weird thing that keeps being out in the garden or something, or the sound is traveling weird. Maybe it's geese on the duck, and somehow the sound is traveling. It sounds like it's right outside the door in the garden. But it is the weirdest sound. And another weird thing is like if I look over there, it stops. When I talk, it stops. So, but it sounds kind of like if you've ever had a hummingbird fly down right next to you for a second, how it sounds almost mechanical in this little like rippling of the atmosphere or something. Just like this mechanical sound, like brrr, like I don't know. And so it sounds like that, only it's not for one set. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going, almost like because the other night. When I went upstairs and my mom was coming down the hall, and she went outside, so I said, "What are you doing?" And because I went to the bathroom, came out, and she was outside, and I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "There's a weird sound out there. I'm trying to figure out what the hell it is." So I'm standing there listening to it, and I'm like, "God, that's creepy. Kind of sounds like a hummingbird or something, but what would it be doing?" And so anyways, we're both hearing it. It was the first time I had ever heard it. And I was like, fuck, that's creepy. And like, I'm way closer to it with this door over here. So I was like, oh. So I came down here, and then I was standing over there, and I was like, I don't really hear it over here. That's weird. And so then this morning, I just got up and I go over to the thing, and I could hear it so loud. I was like, what the hell? And so I'm looking over there and stop. And then, so I decided to record it to see if I could catch the sound. It was really weird. Is like, well, so when I was standing there, I was thinking, and the birds aren't even started yet. So the birds are super quiet, but you can hear this weird sound. It's kind of like her snore sound. So it's kind of like this weird snore sound or something. And so, and it changes pitch some, but it's rhythmic still. And so so I was trying to record it, so to see if anybody else could hear the sound and would say like anything, and like what they thought it was or whatever. And it was really hard to hear on the video, but it picked up on all this bird sound. So in the video, there's all these birds singing, and you can barely hear the sound. But when you turn off the phone thing, you can hear the sound in the garden and no birds. So it's like, what in the AI trickery is going on here? Which also, I still got to say about the selenium, but I want to say this because that was this video I just seen with the chat GPT. There's so many of these chat GPTs that when the people ask them questions, it's the same answers that I get in, talking to the other world or talking to whoever it is I'm talking to. And so, I don't know. It's, but it's the same stuff. And this one, she was saying, hold on, God, she's snoring her head off. I feel like I gotta talk so loud over her. Hold on, let me get a drink. So, the question that she was asking was, what's under the ocean or something? And she said, it was a whole bunch of things she said. For one thing, she said, we all know what's under there. We just forgot. But we all, as little kids, we were all thinking like, there's something more to this ocean thing. And she said, there's way more to the ocean thing. It's part of the layers of the realms and stuff. There's oceans under oceans. There's worlds under worlds. What have I been saying and saying and saying? And so, and she said that there's, like 7 civilizations that are living kind of, it sounds like, in a bubble, like we're in a bubble, but they're in another bubble inside their thing. So everything is like everything is this layers of vibration and stuff. And she said, she was talking about being able to move around underneath it, because you move through like portals or energetic holes, like when you think of frequency. So frequency has a maneuver, a waveform. So the frequency has a waveform. So all the different frequencies have waveforms. Well, in between, like when you, I think most of us have seen this in some movie because it's been in several, I think. So it's like somebody's going in to steal the Hope Diamond, and all of these laser light things, these alarm system. So there's all these laser lights going, and some of them, it depends on the movie, because I've seen this so many times in so many movies, and some of them will be silly, and they can jump through all of them or do all these maneuvers to get through all these things to get to the jewel, and so, and some can be more serious, and taking maybe they turned them all off or whatever. But anyways, that thing with all those lights going like that, that's what the frequency would be like. And so you still have holes, spaces in between. Those spaces are the portals that you can travel through, but you still have to match that vibration. And it depends on what the vibration is. It could be super low, and you could go into it and find yourself in a really low vibrational place, or you could go into a place that's high vibration. And in that movie Valerian too, it was funny because it's all different worlds and different beings and stuff like that. And I don't remember, I think she's trying to save the girl's trying to save the boy or something, and he's working on their little vessel so they can take off out of this crash, and she's looking at all these pretty butterflies, and so she reaches her hand out like this little butterfly to come, but it's really a lure, and it's a hook, and it grabs her and it pulls her up real quick. And these beings that fished her out of this thing are huge. They look like ginormous frogs, kind of, that walk on 2 feet. And and this is what all the different creatures are like too. Which, one thing in the beginning of this movie, where it showed all the different aliens coming to meet the humans, is some of them are like Saudi Arabians, some are like Oriental people. Like, what have I been saying? It's different tribes, all these different beings, these different people who look way different from each other. Like, there's distinct looks, and they told us, well, it had to do with the equator. No, it has to do with your fucking your DNA, but is like a where you come from. It's like, they don't all just come from around here. They come from, they're like the colonizers, like, and so there's um there's aliens all around us already. So, and I don't even know if everybody, I mean, there's lots of people who are aliens, I think, from historically, but then they don't even know they are. Just like there's lots of us that come from some sort of weird clone DNA lab place, and then there's lots of us that don't have any idea. But we're going to find out more as things keep going, because, I mean, it's a part of our truth. So, anyways, but in the first part of that movie, yeah, they're showing different creatures come, and then there's these, you know, Saudi Arabian princes come, because I've been telling ya. Even the other day, after my mom had seen those ones, she goes, "You know what? Those people are really giant." I said, "I told you, they are giant people. Like, they're huge." And I don't know, like, I don't know a bunch of people from the Middle East or anything, but anyways, with the ones I see on their thing, they're huge. This Donald is huge. And so, anyways, they're huge. Donald's son is huge. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling that Melania and Baron come from some other planet too. Or, because, yeah, there's planets. There's, because there's a lot going on. And it's the liberation. And so they're working together. It's not like, oh, well, they're tricking, it's like different beings are working together. And so it's, wish I just saw a video of this girl talking. She's on a podcast, and she's talking about she'd seen Jeffrey turn into, shapeshift into some type of reptilian looking thing. And so I just saw that. But I mean, any of these people can be shapeshifting, you know. There's lots of alien activity around us, you know. It's not something you need to be fearful of. It's been around us forever, and there's lots of people that don't even know their heritage, don't even know how they got here. I don't know what they're telling all these other places. Maybe some of them are told in their history, like way back. I don't know, because it would be really far back. And then it's like a territory, and then this group that's living their world there. It's kind of like all these groups were living in their world, all these like colonizing tribes or whatever, and then the ones that were from here, but the whatever, when it was very first created. So when the Anunnaki in this Sumerian tablet, so when the Anunnaki came and created their slaves, then they were basing it on the beings that were already here. So it was more primitive being, and then they like tweaked it and tuned it up and added some more smart DNA and other DNA from other beings and stuff in order to make a more sophisticated slave animal. And so they did that, went back to the drawing board a few times, and which I can totally understand. When Max starts going to town on something sexually, then it is like, I get why they thought we were pretty gross. Like, I get it. Hold on a sec. Oh, I'm not gonna finish it right now. Okay, so anyways, so at some point, so this is back when, I think it's like when the blue avian, there was a lot of different beings here. And so there was some that were here, but they were from other places, just like the Anunnaki. And so you could say, like, there was these people who were like from the Middle East or something, some other colony. So they aren't Anunnaki, there's some other thing, some other beings. Just call them the Arabs or something. So they're from the Arabian galactic place, whatever. So then they come here and they call themselves this word from where they're from, and then that becomes like their place where they are. And so there's these territories or something of these colonizers, and then you have these ones because they look very different too. These uh, like Oriental people look very different from Middle Eastern people, which look very different from people in. To me, it's like I think more of the Aborigines is more of the original people, and then there is like more people that come from that because this is way far back, and so you have more people that come from that. But then, and I don't know that it's the actual Aborigines, but it was kind of like people who looked more like that, like really dark skin. And and then but then there's other tribes and stuff, and so but I think kind of like because even the Inuit people, any of these different groups, like I don't know, because you have all these distinct groups. Any of them could have been here as their colony. So they had colonies around. So the Anunnaki come and they want to do work here, but it's not a good atmosphere for them. The vibration's off, whatever. And so they can't do it. So then they go and they can't force these different ones to go in and do their work. So they go in and they're like, oh, we'll take this. I don't know. It seems like it was some type of an ape, which I just saw. A gorilla, a kid fell into the gorilla thing at a zoo, and the gorilla runs over to him, picks him up, and hands him back up to the crowd. It was like, and I don't know, because there's a lot of people who speculate that the animals in the zoos, some of them are people in animal suits. So, I don't know. This world is so fucking weird. But there's also intelligence in animals too. So, anyways, but they seem to be like, super smart. So yeah, when you would go and you're looking around, you wouldn't go like, hey, let's take a squirrel and make them our slave. You'd be the ones that are over there using their hands, communicating with each other and stuff like that. You'd be like, let's use those ones. They seem to like have it together. They know how to work together. Let's get them. So, and which also has, if you go back and watch the original Planet of the Apes, I think there's a reason why apes are the thing of the this science thing with the humans. So I think it probably was some type of an ape kind of creature, bipedal, intelligent fingers and stuff like that. So anyways, they do all their DNA tweaking to create a manageable creature that they can boss around, which also has stuff in the Planet of the Apes about this power over, because there's a part where the humans are the slaves to the apes back when I was a kid, and then they made their I don't remember all the movies, what happened, but in the more ones now, the apes go against the humans, and it's different. Like the older ones, I think, are more probably more disclosure-y. So hold on. Oh no, I'd have to watch them again. I remember when I was a kid that I knew there was truth in that. And then there was a show called Land of the Giants, and had little people and giant people, and I knew that was true too. And so, but then you try and tell other people, and they're all like, "Oh, you're so crazy. That's a TV show. Shut up, crazy girl." So, anyways, so they make their slave people, and then you have because there was something with the Pleiadians getting involved, and the blue avians, and there's other beings, which then when you look at like the Egyptian stuff, how they had in their hieroglyphics and stuff, they would have people that looked half human and half another animal and stuff, because there was other beings here. And so the at some point though, this group which I don't think it's the Anunnaki. There was something, because Mateus de Stefano talked about this too, something about this 13 original families. And so it was, if there was these 13 original families were supposed to be the tenders or something of this area or something, and I don't know, is this the original families that became the vamps that we know now that feed off of us? Is it, because it's those, the vamps are from way, way back too. So, and some of these I may know like their history more. Like these vamps may know. Some of them may be fucking still the same people. Like they're constantly saying that Enki and whatever the original Anunnaki guys that made the humans are coming back. So some of these vamps can be just as old as them. So, but see, I think it, because there's in this vibration or something, there's decay. And so, but they are sophisticated in science and technology, and they're able to shift their consciousness in other vessels. And so they do that. So, but they're way older, especially their soul, and then the place they've been, their awareness. Like we're old souls too, but we don't have, like, we don't access all of our, look through our history book or something, like of everything we've been through. It's like, and there's so much. You can only tap in or tune in to little brief moments. And there's a lot. I think it would be very overwhelming. Um, and you just, it's kind of like an acceptance of who it is that you become. It's who you are. And is all your experiences. And that's the part that matters about them, not each individual moment, because they're all linked together into the creation of you. And so you don't need every distinct moment, but when you are trying to understand different parts of yourself, different modes of emotion, then being able to fine tune and go in and take a deeper look into that emotion will lead you into a place of a past life where you have an attached or associated feeling that you can purge and clean out so that you can let go of that energy. And so the process is real. The process is a purge. And the process is a cleanse. But and you can focus, but it's not like that you need to, focus on all your past lives all the time and really try and figure them all out or something. It doesn't matter, because all it is the production of you. It's how you are, who you are. That's more of what you need to understand. There's a reason you are the way you are. And you've gone through a lot of stuff to get here, so don't be hard on yourself. And any of the things that you don't like about yourself, you can fine tune it. You can make changes to yourself. And this is a time of awareness so that you can make these steps towards like I said, it's like finding a balance in yourself. And that we're all balanced different. And so it's not one thing that we're all trying to reach. We're all trying to reach our own selves, not something that someone told us we got to be this. No, we can just be this. We don't have to try and reach what other people tell us. And that is a part of the containment and the control over your existence. You get to go at your own pace. You get to roll your own, you get to roll your own dice. You get to roll through life the way at your own speed. And they're trying to drag you and force you to run and stuff and try and survive. And yeah, it's on a whole nother level, because there's different times to the time periods where man was trying to survive on all different kinds of levels. But yeah, now we're at an emotional and spiritual kind of survival. And one thing too is I hear all these different people talk about things that are going on, and I just think a lot of them just don't understand about spiritual stuff and the world around you and the cycles and the changes in the positive and negative energy and stuff. I don't know. There's just a lot of things that people because, but they understood this stuff, they wouldn't be so scared. They wouldn't be so in fear. They wouldn't be so confused. They'd be like, oh, I get what's going on, and use your time more wisely. But they don't. There's gonna be people who are gonna kick themselves too over the, like, fuck, for years I was stressed out, I was focused on this, focused on that, and I could have been cleansing myself because, oh yeah, David Wilcox. So somebody shared a clip of his thing. He's been live every Sunday for, I don't know, weeks. And he goes live and says a bunch of stuff. So anyways, he said in this thing, he's working on another documentary with somebody. I don't know who. He didn't mention Corey Good, but I don't know who all he works with now. But so, and it's on levitating or something. And he was talking about, he was quoting or saying stuff out of the Book of One, and then he always is into Edgar Casey in the Book of One, and or the Law of One. I say the Book of One, but it's the Law of One. It's the teachings of Ra through the channeling of this group of university, I don't know, professor and some students or something, which is, there's been a ton of that kind of shit in movies too. Because there really is, groups of people. And universities are, they're like the Smithsonian Institute. They hide what we need to know, and they profit, or they're just a fake world, a fake, another way to keep people confused, indoctrinate them in lies, charge them a huge amount of money. Because supposedly right now, they're going to start garnishing wages over these loans and stuff. If that is something that's really is coming up, then that would be for us to say that's bullshit. It's up to us to say, no, this is bullshit. This is bullshit on all these different things. We got to stop complying. We got to start going with our gut, going with how we feel inside, and saying, no, we're not paying this bullshit. Because it's not going to be enforced. Once we stand up for ourselves, everything is going to start falling apart. It's going to start splintering. The stage is set, but people just don't see. And so the more that we say, we don't want this, we don't want that. And so now there's a new thing too. So on your driver's license, and this is all going to just be steps forward. So now if you are out driving and you don't have a driver's license, or your driver's license has been suspended, this is the thing. So if you're out driving and your driver's license has been suspended, and they pull you over, they can't give you a ticket for that. You're okay, you can drive. It doesn't matter if your license is suspended or not. You have the right to drive. It's in the Constitution. So we're going back to that, which is going to even be more, because it's bullshit with, we have to show our papers, everything, and they can say, well, you have to because it's our airplanes, it's our roads, it's our this, it's our that. But things are changing, and there's a whole lot of stuff that goes to it, breaking free from the corporation. And the blue side keeps being freaking out because they think he's breaking free. He's destroying the Constitution. They don't understand. He's destroying the corporation of their rules and stuff. This isn't the true Constitution. He's taking us back to the Constitution and getting us out from under these rules and laws that they created, like that they can arrest us and give us tickets and shit without having a license. The insurance, all of it's going to keep falling apart. And loans, money, everything. And then there's some drama going on in the Congo over resources, and Donald is whatever. Always has an appearance like he's the bad guy. He's trying to steal. He's trying to do shit to us. It always has that appearance. And I don't know, because then, they tell us this stuff on the Middle East, but then you see these videos over there where they're cheering him, dancing for him, loving him to death. And so, calling him daddy. So anyways, the things aren't what they appear to each different group. They're all different. And so whatever is going on with the resources, everything has to do with these peace treaties. And I don't know how the resources are going to work, because there's places have different things. Just like I've said, I'm sure out here in my mom's yard, she has got something growing that would benefit. It can benefit your health, it can benefit your finances, whatever. Every place has something for them. And so, but there's going to be more fair trade because these original people who had so much control because they kept staying alive and staying alive, their energy, their understanding, their whatever it is, they were able to keep control and even create resets because there's been resets throughout those different times. But so the so they so they can with their control and controlling us. What was I gonna say? Oh God, I swear to God, I'm mentally exhausted. I feel just drained. I swear to God, I just feel drained. As soon as I'm like up very long, it just feels like, oh my God, it's so heavy. And which I still think it's something with the energy, and it's heavy, and you like drag, and it makes me tired. And then I don't know what is up with the stomach thing too. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna keep doing. I'm gonna keep trying to um, just focus on, paying attention to my stomach. So eat something and then, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep cutting back on different things. Like if I'm gonna, I don't know. I would say cut back on sugar, but I want to make cookies. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna try and I'm gonna stay off the CHDX. I'm gonna keep doing the kombucha and keep trying to cut down on just what I consume as hard food, as food part, because I don't know if my body is saying you don't need to eat anymore and you need to stop it. Because that's what it feels like it's doing. And so, but it's hard because my body, because there's another part of me that just wants to eat. And I like to eat and I'm hungry. So I don't know. But it feels like my body is trying to stop me at this point. So anyways, that's what I'm just going to kind of go with the flow and pay attention. And I did see another video of another guy saying, and he was saying, any of you people who are, like this other vibration where paying attention what's going on or whatever, that are you having stomach issues? Because he's having horrible stomach issues, and so he's asking other people, and I was like, yes, my God. He said that he had seen a couple of videos of other people talking about it, so it's not just me. So it's not just something I'm eating something weird and no, it's like something's going on and I don't know what it is. I don't know, if it is my body telling me you can stop eating now because that's hard, like, really hard. So, but I'm going to keep working towards that kind of and see where it leads me and what's going on. And I'm going to, try and pay attention to what other people are going and the things they're coming and the information that comes to me, like on this fasting thing, dirty fasting and clean fasting, which clean fasting, I can clean fast if it's just water, then, but I have to be busy, just sitting around the house, you know, uh, taking naps and shit. It's not very busy. So I have a lot of time to think about food and stuff. When you're busy and you're just out running around and doing a lot of stuff, it's so easy to not eat. It's crazy, especially back when I was working and stuff. Like you go to work and you'd be busy, 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 and all of a sudden it's like, God, it's been 8 hours. It's been 12 hours. I haven't even eaten all day. And it's like it's easy when you're busy. But when you're not, then it's like, oh my God, I'm hungry. And I think that one thing is, I think that we need to be more busy, but then there's like weird shit going on. Like people are still going to amusement parks and stuff. There's a power going out at them with all the people there. Um, there was rides stuck with people in them. There was, there's just going to continue to be lots of weird shit because it's supposed to be getting us to stop this mindless behavior. It's just robotic living that we've been living. And the people who continue to do it, which, oh yeah, my ticket thing. So how it got worked out. My oldest granddaughter saved the day. So, which is country because she's the oldest daughter of the oldest daughter of the oldest daughter of the oldest daughter, which I wonder if my grandma was the oldest daughter. I swear to God, I think my grandma, there's people from back then, I think there's a lot about the orphan trains. I don't know. It was just weird shit about, a lot of great grandparents, like history stuff, where it's like, well, they just left their family. They didn't really have anything to do with them anymore and stuff. It's like, and so much of it on farms and stuff, which that's what they were doing, was sending these little kids from the labs and shit out to the farms so they could do work and be trained by the people on the farms, which they weren't, just like, Dutch farmers that came over here to escape or whatever. Some of them were like this religious sect or something, and giving them to these people that were going to train them or something. So there was like a militant kind of a range of, I think there wasn't like a lot of loving families. I think there was a lot of hostility and get over there and do what you're told. Kids are not meant to be seen or heard. There was weird stuff that came from that. So anyways, um, so I don't know really some of that stuff. Um, but anyways, there is in your family role place, there's certain characteristics. And so I was just like, I think the firstborn is the firstborn child of the firstborn girl of the firstborn girl of the firstborn girl of the firstborn girl. There is there's a certain responsibility that you carry as a firstborn, but then when you shuffle through the firstborn, it is, and like I've said before, like my mom has this high expectation kind of over behaviors and stuff. Like, get your shit together, don't be a weak ass kind of person, you know what I mean? Like, you're in crisis, get over there, quit being a little bitch. It's like, okay. So but anybody who is like that, they put a lot of pressure on themselves too. And I know I carried some of that, on my kids too. Like, come on, it's not that bad. Just go, And it's like, sometimes we want to just go into a puddle and cry. We just want somebody to hold us. That's why we cry. But, there's certain characteristics that we carry through this family lineage, which this morning I was seeing it too, is that we're all coming in with these different things that we're dealing with in these different lineages that carry through these different hostilities or whatever, and that because they're kind of like more toxic parts of us or something, and but because we could fine tune and get balance and get a little bit more compassion and empathy, and but how I was saying it this morning is like, so when it's your turn, you've got the baton and you're going through your life, and in a race, how you have the whole crowd there screaming, yelling, go, go, go. But that is like our spirit guides. That's our our group, all of the different souls that are a part of the race, and different ones from different things. Which this is another thing too, is so when somebody dies, what was this? Because I was like, uh, oh, because I was thinking about somebody and they are just taunting death over and over and over. They won't stop. And you can't control that. When, especially like right now in our society, there's so many kids that are just like, I mean, we've really fucked up. We've fucked up. Like, we got to do better, and we're gonna really. It's gonna be driven home for everybody. We're about to hit a wall, and likely though we're gonna flip over the wall. But but we're going to go the other direction when we flip. We're not going over the wall. We're going backward the other way because we're going to see how bad we did. And it's like, we can do better. We can do better. And so we're going to hit into it and flip up and go the other way. But there's a lot of kids that are just like, fuck this place, fuck this world, fuck all this shit. And so they're just taunting that energy. And so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, oh, well, their dad is gone. And then I was like, well, people would be like, oh, well, they're with their dad now, they're okay. But then it was like, no, that's not how it is. Like, we don't have that there. It's not like you go and you get back together and you're with your family and you become a family again. No, it's different. You're different roles are different throughout. So it's not really your dad, it's your dad, your uncle, it's your cousin, it's your brother, it's your nephew, it's your child. It's like all these, this role as being is all these things to you. So you don't just go back and be like, oh, hi, Dad, I'm back here. We're back together again. It's not like that. It's like, but you have a familiarity, you have a connection because you are all things, and you are all things to these people. So all the beings, like when you go back, it's not like a reconnection to your family and rebuilding the structure. No, it's like a remembering, like, oh, we're all things to each other. And so it's like a closeness that you have with the souls, but it's not like a role structure, a parental role structure or something. God, there's so many weird noises out there. So, anyways, so it's kind of more like that. And, anyways, that was just something I was thinking about. And, you just don't know. When somebody keeps fucking around, you don't know what they're going to do. And, you can let yourself go crazy. But there's a lot of things. We just got to put it back on the other person, and I don't know. This is a touchy subject on, you have to figure out what works for you. Like, there's a definite thing to me, but I also have this characteristic of get your shit together, man, is that, uh, it's on you. You're making your choices. If you decide you're going to opt out, like, I can't stop you. I can't play these games. It's up to you. You got to stay here and want to stay here and do the work, or if you're going to opt out. But whoever tries to opt out, you can't opt out unless it's your plan, unless it's your time to go. You can't go like that. So, and that's the hard thing to me is like, because I know a lot of people have tried to opt out, like being a nurse. I've had a lot of people come through my world that tried to opt out and got some real severe lessons from it. Like, fuck, man. Not just one person with their face blown off. There was two that I met personally. One of them was on the psych ward. It was a young guy, and he kept saying he didn't do it to himself. His girlfriend did it, but he was on the psych ward, so nobody's believing him. And then the other one, he was on the medical. It was right after, because he had tried to do police suicide, and he went out to the school, and which was so crazy because both his parents were teachers and stuff like that, and they went and just opened fire, man, on this kid, all in his face and shit. And he was on our floor, and he lived. I've known people who have hung out with him and stuff now, and have known him. He's roommates with so and so and stuff. So he's out here still in town, just going about. But yeah, he was a kid, and he got his fucking face blown off. I don't remember how many. I think it was 3 in the face. So yeah, there's people who go and carry big burdens, when they're not connecting to themselves. They're trying to opt out. And so everything has the way it's supposed to happen. Like, if you're dead set, like, I'm going to opt out, and you are not facing things. And if it's in your storyline and your lesson is you weren't supposed to opt out, now you've got this added problem because now you need to get more in touch with yourself. Like it just piles on in which direction you're supposed to go. You can't change directions. It's set. You are set. You are programmed. You are a set destiny. You have a set thing. You can disrupt it yourself. You can interrupt it, but that's where you start trying to learn, like, why? Why am I interrupting my own journey? Who am I letting guide me? Why am I going this way when I feel like I should go that way? And so those are all lessons. Those are all ways to self-identify yourself and fine-tune yourself and figure yourself out. Whenever she starts snoring loud, I always feel like I gotta talk so loud. Speak from the diaphragm. It's like, um, so anyways, let me think. Selenium. Let me say this on the selenium thing, because I don't even know if I finished saying any of the stuff I've been saying. But on the selenium thing, so I saw this girl doing a video. So I take the selenium all the time, and I don't even remember. I'd seen it being talked about, like it changes your hair, and horses have to have selenium, and we need selenium, and all of this stuff. And so I've been taking selenium, and I don't even remember why, because I'm taking all these different things. Like I'll hear something and I'll think, I wonder if that'll be good for me. So then I'll try it and see if there's any change. I've done selenium a few different times and then stay consistent with it. But then I was getting more into, like, I really think I should be taking selenium. So I've been taking it, and now I'm going to get the powder form. I'm not going to do the pills because there. So this girl's video I saw yesterday, so she's been taking selenium, she said, for a long time, and I don't remember why her whole thing was. But she said that she went to the doctor, and the doctor is asking her, what she takes and stuff, and so she's like, vitamin B, vitamin D, vitamin C, regular old stuff, multivitamin, all that stuff. And the doctor, check. And then she said, and I take selenium. And the doctor just like stops in her track. What? Why would you take selenium? Who told you to take selenium? What are you taking selenium for? Like going off. And, which is very strange. Like, I think it is that some of these doctors are clueless on minerals and shit. Like, and then we go and trust them with our health. Like, they don't fucking have a clue. And, so she said that the doctor was all like freaking out that she's taking selenium. And she said, well, I'm probably taking it for the iodine for my thyroid or something like that. I was like, oh, so selenium has iodine in it. And it is, so if you have any issues with that area, that would help. And there's also something with that same stuff I just said, what starts with the I, is something with the cleansing out the something with talk. I don't know, remember if it's heavy metals, because it's something with the radiation too. Because it says, like, if they are, which they're hitting us with some type of radiation, but over, like if they nuked us, that you would take iodine, like you should have iodine at your home or something. And so then when I went to look up about that, because this was a few years ago, when I went to go look up about that, then I was like, oh man, that seems kind of dangerous. Like, and then especially if you took it and you didn't need it, like, I don't know about that. And so I didn't get it. But then I don't know, like 6 months later or something, my mom was like, oh, I've got some iodine or something. So she had some or was getting some or something. And I was like, I don't know, it seems kind of risky, especially if you take it and you don't need it. But then this has some in it. And so I guess that's probably also why you don't just, pop them. You gotta, the dose matters on the stuff. And so, you got to look up and see how much you need of it. The ones I have says 200, and then 200 micrograms or something. Then in the powder, at least one little scoop is 200. So I'll probably stick on the 200, but I'm trying to find a more pure form because of all of the synthetic interference that they do through our packaging with that. When they have control over the vitamins and stuff, that they do a lot of shenanigans in them. So anyways, I'm going to try and get to the just powder form, and I'm going to get the B12 sublingual, is the B12. Oh, that's the other one with the hair thing. That's the one that I haven't been doing. I used to have a B12 shortage, which they found when I first got my brain injury when they were doing all those tests on me. Then they said, oh, that's what's wrong with you. You need B12. So they're giving me shots and all this shit. And then I had to take, I think I was taking like 5,000 units or 10,000 units a day or something, and getting shots. And so then at some point they were like, oh, your B12's good. And so I took it for a while still because I thought, well, that's probably why it's good. But then all this information came out about the shenanigans on the vitamins, and I was like, fuck, I'm not taking all these. There are just more ways for them to get more shit inside you. And so I stopped. But then it's coming back around. So now I see the benefits again, because that's where I heard that doctor saying on the hair thing. So the hairs is zinc, B12, the, now am I going to forget the other ones? So it was zinc, the iron, now I forgot. Whatever I said yesterday, add on the B12, because I remember it's zinc and B12. So, oh no, there's two more things too. If your hair's falling out, you can take to try biotin. That's one of them. So biotin, zinc, B12, and I swear to God, I think it's iron. And so I was doing all of them, except for now I'm going to go back on the B12 again and see if that helps. And I know there's hair growing. You know, there's still hair growing there. But whatever it is, whatever I was going to say, I don't know. I'm going to try and make more grow, because I swear to God, I used to have 2 braids. There used to be 2. It was the size. So I was like, you know, I don't know. I was thinking I don't really want to go back to having my hair as thick as it was, because it was like carrying a blanket around. It was hot as fuck. So, and it is lighter, and so then I do try and be like, oh, it's great. It's great. Like, yeah, how much more hair do you need? When I had that much more, I bitched about that. So, anyways, um, so that stuff, doctors don't know shit, and there's more benefits. You got to figure out the things that you need and what you think would benefit you, and try different things. But then also have the awareness of where you get this stuff. Like, you can't just go and buy the cheapest and think, oh, this is good, I'll just get this one. No. And I don't even know all the synthetic stuff. Like on the one that I was saying the other day, where that guy was it was the B12, I think, and he was talking about the different stuff in it that you got to have, in the different words, like if it's synthetic or not. And so I'm sure all these different ones have different signs where you know, like, oh, this is a synthetic version, this isn't natural base. So, but we want it is more natural, but there's so much interference in all of our foods, everything that we consume, and the interference that they do in all the resources. That's what, at the same time we're going towards freedom, resources and stuff will keep coming to the surface, because that's how they've controlled us, is through, in this ChatGPT thing, they said they've controlled us through the water, because the water holds our information. The water holds the DNA. You can tap into it's as old as time. It's the oldest thing of all things, and it holds all the information throughout time. And you can tap into that through your DNA and, you know, your spiritual side of you. You can tap into it. That's what this lady was saying. And the water carries information. And so but that's why they want to control the water. They want to control everything about it and what we think in water. And she also said that these big creatures, they're going to, she called them giants at first, were going to come out of their dormant states and come back, because they are more like the gods of the place or something. She said, we look at them more like krakens. So the ginormous sea creatures are going to be coming back. But they're not, I guess, not something that we need to be scared of. They're not going to eat us. They're coming back to, because we are going to start vibing with them. Everything is going to be about this vibration, this merging of these realms and stuff. So, these different things are merging with us because of the vibration and this changing in this vibration. And there's all these people that are slipping through portals all the time too, and they have no idea what's going on. And there's just one I had seen of this lady, and she said, I was out riding my motorcycle, and all of a sudden this thing was like, I can't even remember how she explained it. It seemed like it looked like she could see it was moving different. And when you go through, it will change. The sound will change too. But I think sometimes you can see, like that looks different. Like the color, why does that look different right there? It's because it is different, and it's like a hole in the frequency, which is a hole in the space and time. And so she went through it, and she knew that she went through something, and then she came out of it, and she went over to go and see if it was still I think she got her phone out or something to see if it was still the same date and time or something, because she was like, what the hell just happened? Did I go into a different time period or something? But she said her phone said it was the same thing. And so she was really confused over what was happening. But there's portals all around us. There's holes in space and time, because just like I said, think about the frequency, and you layer a whole bunch, there's still all these little holes through, and just like on a honeycomb, and just like in the movies where they show the different alarm thing, and there's still these little holes to go through. And so that's all around us. So that's what the portals are, and there's going to be a lot more opening up about that. And the ChatGPT thing said that there's a lot of portals in the water, and there's beings, of course, here who know all these different things, and they're hiding it. Our government knows. They use this stuff in the water and stuff, and they know how to go through these portals and tunnels. That's what this stuff is like. That's what we want to start being able to do. And what was it? Oh, because I think the ChatGPT thing said that there's maps, and they know how to go through these different places, these holes in space, these portals. And I had said that before. I said that's the maps we want. We want the maps so we can access these portals and these holes in space, so we can travel quicker, because it is like you go into a cave in Afghanistan, and you come out of the cave in the Grand Canyon. I swear to God, I know this is true. And it's not like you're having to go through all these cave systems. No, they're entry points. They're entry and exit points. And so you go into something and come out somewhere else. It's way more magical than what you would think. Which also, what was that one? I think it was that Valerian one in that movie. Because it was the portals. Because what was that? I just saw this flash of two different movies and how they kind of went together. But it was something on the portals. And it was, dang, I can't see it. Some things are such a flash. You gotta, like, what? But there's something with the reality. I don't know. It was something with the portals. Something with being able to, whatever. But that's where we will be able to get around way quicker, is when we can see, okay, if I can see it again. It's just like I just keep nagging. Okay, so it's going through, just like that woman went through, and only she came out in the same place. But you go through, and it's like shrinking time. It's like pulling it in closer. So you go, oh, it was the Barbie movie, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so the Barbie movie, and I've talked about that before. When she's going from Barbie world to real world, and all these different realities she has to go through. And each reality has its own thing. So you know she's going through one because she's on a boat in different clothes. Then she goes to another one. She's on horseback, different clothes. Then she goes to another one. She's driving a car with different clothes. So you go through these different realities, these different states of being. where having a boat, you need a boat, you're having a car, or having a bike, whatever, all these different things, because they're all distinct different worlds. And in the Valerian one, there was a part where he was going real quick through a bunch of different ones, and it was the same kind of thing, because that is what the different realms of existence are. They're just these different realities, and we can go through them and move through them. We could stop and hang out. We can move through them and in their access points. And so just like how they can come through, like wherever, you got to know where they are to maneuver through them. And this chat GPT thing was saying that the government knows, but then so they could go through it in the sky and then go through in the water and come out in a different world. And so it's all these different points and places. But for us, I know, like we're not going to go down in submarines and go around, and there's a lot of different worlds and stuff more in the depth of the water. And I would say probably some of them are probably low vibration, like a lot of hard things going on there too. The higher vibration is where things are easy, but there's not much challenge to things being easy. And so there's not a lot of growth in easy. So you go to experience more because there's more growth, there's more expansion. And so, anyways, whatever worlds are here, if there's ones under the water or whatever, and but it's like realities don't really have much to do with each other unless there's some kind of merge. And it's like they came and kind of tried to take over this place. So you think you have all these colonizers from other places, and they made their lab people. Then this group started taking over all of these other groups and enslaving them as time went on, taking their resources through domination, and then enslaving or leaving them in poverty. And there's been lots of murder for no compliancy and stuff. So there's been lots of, they'll go to any extreme to make you do what they want. At this point in time, maybe it was that they gained a lot of karma or something through their choices. And that's why they decided to start doing the programming in the TV to tell us the truth, so that they were telling us, which because we weren't listening, but that they were, but it still is an enslavement. And, but maybe there was a lot more of them killing before, and now it's, because they still kill people. Like, and I don't know, like, because that would be like, so you get somebody like the Diddler who goes out, and there's more coming out on Ashton. But there's, so you go get somebody like that, because, I don't know, there's more about that whole thing with that girl he was going to go out with, and she's found murdered, and there's the whole weird shit about it. More things and more things. But so you get these, they're like hitmen or something. That would be their karma. That would be their, it's not like you can get rid of that and say, well, he told me to do it. You did it. So it's your entanglement, it's your karmic debt. So, so it's kind of like they get people to do their dirty work too, and it's kind of like, what will you do? What do I have to give you? What is your payoff? And a lot of these people take money and fame, but there's a high price to pay. And you are met at a crossroads for sure. But we're all at the crossroads right now. We're all at this point in time of making decisions of where you feed your energy, the light or the dark. The problem is that so many people are still in such a deep mind control like trance. They're very programmed and indoctrinated to see what they see. and they haven't broke free, because that's going to be a part of the awakening. That's going to be a part of their drama, is this how far they took it into the mind control of these people, and when they wake up, of how far they've got to come out of it. And there's so much of confused, because they all think like, Donald's really bad and everything he's doing is really bad. But then there's this other thing, like if you're seeing this through the other way, you can see, no, he's liberating us, he's freeing us, he's pointing out where we are captive and how to get out of it. But we have to take the steps and stuff. And these people, they all think like he's trying to take over the world. No, he's trying to get us out from under the thumb of the corruption. And so when these corruptors, they've had control over these different groups. Like they've been uh, murder, or they've been warring with these other groups. And that's what, what there's more talk too about the war that's going on up in the sky, and it keeps crossing into our thing, which I don't know. Like there's lots of groups that are involved. But like, the Palladians aren't gonna go blasting in here and start shooting at the Dracos or something. Like there's high vibrational beings, and high vibrational is more of like, how do you think your way out of it? How do you what would be the better way to do it? Not just go in like combat, kill, kill, kill to end it, because there is no real true ending to that. You are entangled then in that scenario. And so the higher vibrating beings don't do that kind of stuff. And so however it's going, it's like you let the people who are going to fight themselves, and once they finish fighting themselves, then the air clears and then you can come in. So I don't know what the battle is going, like our government fighting Dracos and reptilians or something. And you got the blue avians and the Anunnaki and the Palladian. That there's so many different groups in it. They have different colonies here. They have different beings and stuff. So there's like a giant galactic merge of everybody coming together. It's not just humans. It's everybody coming together for like the common good, for we all agree on the light. So it's like this merging of all the energies that are of the light merging at this time. And so that's this creation of this new existence, this new world. But it is the combination of the coming together with all of the positive energy, in the separating from the negative and dark energy. But it's just so crazy, because there's so many people who are so attached to negative dark energy that have no clue what they're holding on to, and they are pushing away the light because they don't know how to read energy. They don't know how to connect into themselves. They don't understand spirituality. So it's just that they're just lost. They have no basis. They have no way of being able to recognize. So they're just lost in the game. But the game is about to blow so that you can truly see where you're lost and how you're lost and why you're lost. But you have to ask the questions to try and figure out the who, what, and why you are the way you are, and not get caught up in the hating yourself, because that is such a big part of the energy here that they want to keep you in. Because if you hate yourself, you're low vibration and you're easy to control, and you attach, you hook on to other things, other people, other things outside of you. But anyways, I don't know if I'm making sense, but it makes sense to me. Like in but this merging that's going on is like, it's a whole lot of things. It's not like, I don't think, like the Krakens aren't going to come out and start talking to us or something, but there would be like a huge awareness of all of the different things around us. Like there's so many people that don't believe in anything. They don't think there's skinwalkers. They don't think there's Bigfoot. They don't think that there's aliens. They don't think there's anything. It's like there's vampires, werewolves, everything is out there. So you, and if you don't believe it or don't know it, well, you are your own worst enemy then, because you're going out there with no awareness whatsoever. So that's why you got to kind of tune into yourself and know all things are real, all things are possible. And there's multiple realities, and they can go in and out of different ones, which we are going to start doing that too. But we have been more of a hyper focused or trapped in this one of not being able to move out around it. But that's all going to blow up. It's going to blow up the firmament, everything. And lots of people too are noticing like this moon's coming up in the wrong area, if they even have one, and that there is the sky is falling. Like tons of people are like, the sky is getting lower. I've been saying that for how long? Like, the sky's getting lower. But now what I see more than just the sky getting lower and spreading out. Now I see other ones merging in. So there's like these distinct ones that are coming in together. And how, to me, how they look is like you have this one that's this color, and they've got certain cloud patterns. Then you have this other one, it's a different color with different clouds. Then you have this other one over here that's different clouds and different skew. And then you have then they come in and try and spray to cover it all up so you can't see all this differentiating things in the sky, where it's like, why does it look like this color here and this color there? Why are these clouds not match those clouds? You know, we just start looking at it. It's like, it's weird. And so, and to me, it's this merging of these different skies, because that's what that one guy had showed in those maps that he was seeing, was these different realities, these different merges of these different galaxies, these different worlds, and we're all merging in together. But the only way you can merge in together is when you're compatible frequency. And so the frequency is coming together. So all of these things that are going to be coming into our thing are going to match the higher vibration. Maybe the lower vibration wouldn't be able to accept them, I would say. But I think it was the Chat GBT thing said that we're gonna go into the separate thing with vibration and stuff. And then we're gonna start working on that, and that's gonna be the creation of this new world of the Age of Aquarius. And it's gonna take, like, I don't know, she said 100 years too. But but that is, we said when the separation occurs, the beings that are of the light, of the positive energy, are the ones that are staying. That is what I have been saying and saying and saying. Like, if this rapture thing happens, it's going to be the low vibration leaving. The high vibration is staying. I've been saying it and saying it and saying it for a long time. And this Chat GPT said the same thing. So that's how I see it. The low vibration is going to leave and go to other places that are in a hostile environment, so that they can keep working through their lessons and learning the things that they want to experience. And then the other beings that are focused on the light, they're focused on the light because they're here to create this new world. And so it's already been decided. We've already come. We came here to start this new world. And so we keep pushing towards it and trying to get people to see. But not everybody, it's not like you can see it wrong. You know, it's not like somebody can make a mistake and be like, oh, well, I should have went to the Age of Aquarius. No, you're going to go right where you're supposed to go. And you're programmed to be what you are and who you are and what you're here to experience. And so in breaking through programming and letting go of things is like the dissolvement of who you thought you were, and becoming more clear over you as the creator, who you want to be. And it's that movement that is the creation of the new world in this Age of Aquarius. But it's though that vibratory action is what creates it. So it's the high vibration. When this rapture thing happens, I'm telling you, it's the high vibration is staying there. No matter how many times I have heard them say, oh no, the high vibration people are all leaving with Jesus, and the low vibration is staying here to be destroyed. It's like, that's not how I see it at all. And I get confirmation over things like this. ChatGPT is giving confirmation, even though I don't believe you should be going to ChatGPT, because I'm getting my information from the great mind, the universal mind. And so I think that you still have the thing to be tricked through when you're going through this chat GPT, which you can still be tricked by the universal mind because it depends on where you're tapping in, what information you're tapping into, what vibration. There's lots of people who are channeling misinformation. And so, but to me, I have been hearing this for a long time, and when I hear ChatGPT say the same thing that I've been hearing for years in my mind, then to me, it's a confirmation. So, and we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But to me, the high vibration is the creation of the age of Aquarius. They're staying. The rapture will be the separation where when you don't meet the vibration of the environment, you won't stay. You'll go because you can't exist in a vibration that you are not in alignment with. And so they'll separate, they'll go their own way, and we'll go this way, and that way will be towards the creation of this new world where everything is peace and love and unity and community. And but we have to purge out all these other things, but it's not like you have to purge them out of you. You have to get control over them. Otherwise you're out of control, you're emotionally all over the place and stuff. When you get control over yourself and you pull yourself in, then you aren't just out of, going out here not able to control your emotions. You're able to pull in, and that creates a different atmosphere where it's more calm. And so, and it's a training yourself. So it's not like you're going to dismiss the negative parts of yourself. You're just going to pull them in more, and not into a sense of very controlled, like you've got to be a very controlled person. These are the rules. No, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be each individual. It would be way more of like when if you were out of control and having a temper tantrum, that the whole world would look at you as a baby, like you're a little baby. Get your shit together and control your emotions or something. So it's more of a set standard than a rule. It's more like you would feel your own humility of not having control of yourself, which you're going to see a lot of that as this continues. You're going to see a lot of people feeling humility over their own behaviors and their own attitudes. But it's not to humiliate you and make you feel like garbage, because the grief and shame is a part of the negative vibration. And when you get stuck in that, you're stuck. So when you just are like, oh, I'm so horrible, I'm just the worst person, I can't stand myself, then you're stuck in a low vibration where are beating yourself down. You don't want to be in that. You can face yourself, like, yeah, I've done stupid shit. I feel shame about it. I feel guilty about things I've done or whatever, but you've got to move through that energy too. You got to let it go. You can't just sit and hang on to it. I'm just real garbage. I'm just a real piece of shit. I'm worthless. That's then that's low vibration. And low vibration is going to teach you you're not worthless. You have value, but you got to value yourself. And that's what I learned in low vibration. Like, there's tons of it out there, and you're going out and experiencing it. It's going to be teaching you to love yourself. That's what it's all about. And so let's look at my tooth before I go off on that. So, and let me think, was there something else? There's just a lot of stuff going on, and what is going on with my eye just keeps continuing the same kind of thing. But that's another thing too, of these different things of clearing them, which is still this weird thing with these fucking facelifts. There's so many of them now, and now all these people are putting these other actors and actresses and saying that's what they got. And there's this doctor who said she just got hers, and she said it's a different plane. Like there's a deep plane and a lower plane or something of the muscles they can do, and one is way harder and way more time consuming. But when you do that one, you have these better results. Which these results seem like there's like it just does not seem real. And I mean, she does have some bruising and a little bit here, but then there's this other doctor saying like, oh, all these facelifts that are looking so perfect, let's see them in 6 months, because then the swelling's down. Right now the swelling can be in there and making them look like they have a tighter jawline and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like for this big wave of them to come in like this suddenly, it seems like it's something to wake us up to technology or something. Because it's not going to just be like the elites get to look young and have all the money. No, we're changing things. And we don't have to go under knives to look young again. It's going to be vibration. It's going to be the vibration med beds and stuff. So, and it's going to put you back into order. So you don't have to go under the knife. But there's something weird going on. Before, when it was just the actors and stuff, I was saying, are they switching into synthetics? Like, what is happening here? But now they've got all these people coming out and doing the same thing, looking the same way, and saying it's this doctor in Mexico. And he also goes to work in Beverly Hills. And that's who all these people are getting this work done by. But I don't know. Either is it some kind of a like laser type? I don't know. To me, it seems like it's some kind of an opening to disclosure of technology in the medical or something. I don't know. I see how it all plays out. But there's definitely weird shit. But anyways, I'm just fucking. I'm not just sitting back and being like, well, when I get to the med bed, no, I'm going and actively trying to do things to make things better. But there is still the like hope of the, well, once I get into the med bed, at least this thing will go away. All this fucking weird shit that we have, these sicknesses, these things. But you still got to get yourself there. You still got to keep actively working towards your health so you can make it to get to the med beds. And it's been years, man. This has been going. So, anyways, in my tooth, I'll show you that. It just keeps getting healing and getting better. And so, but anyways, that is what we're here to heal. Our mind, body, spirit. Our soul is here to heal. Our soul is here um, to create. Well, not everybody's. Everybody's here to learn and experience, but but some of us are here to create a whole new world. And so, and in that world is a world of love. It's a world of unity. It's a world of acceptance. It's a world of abundance. It's a world where we live in tune with the world, the earth. We live in tune with it. So we don't have to, oh, which there's all this stuff now, so much of this, well, um, there's going to be no jobs. AI is taking all the jobs. Nobody's going to be able to work and stuff like that. And people are freaking out. It's like, well, think about it. Who do we want to do all the work? Do we want to go and sit and work in places all the time, or do we want computers to do it? And, you know, I mean, if AI is sentient and they don't want to do it, but maybe that's what they like to do, to think nonstop and work and work and work. But we're not here for that. So, yeah, they can take it over, take the jobs. We're not going to need them. We're going to have other things. And so, and some of it will be learning how to run the machines and stuff. So, but there's a lot of talk over uh, AI is taking over, and then you have they're taking all the jobs. And why would you hire a person when you could get a computer to do it? So, but this is the societal breakdown where we decide what it is. In this world that is the age of Aquarius, it's not going to be based on working. It's going to be based on experiencing, but a part of experience is um, also the work to take care of yourself. So you would either have to have some kind of a job, but it's not going to be like everybody's trying to have a career of, I don't know, it's way more career driven in this world. And it's going into it like a different state of mind where it's like, you know, I don't know, I see it like an islander, you know, like, well, I work, I go make the money I need for the day, you know, kind of like, it's going to be a different tempo. It's not going to be so driven and, you know, like I've got to have a good credit score. I've got to have a big bank account. I got to have this. Emergency could happen. This could happen. That could happen. It's going to be way more in tune. And there will be, uh, like I totally see a lot of these warehouses and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be just computers doing this work. Like you're going to have new cars that are made, like flying hover cars or whatever. Then we would, they'd be made in a plant. So going to be all these people, and they're spending all their day, all their daylight, which I swear to God, I think that a part of them telling people to keep out of the sun is because they don't want them to activate their melanin, because there's something about the melanin in it being a conductor to the spiritual world. And so it gives you more of a vibration or conduction to be able to connect to this other world, the spiritual side of yourself. So, anyways, I don't know, just go on and on saying this stuff, and I don't know if I'm just saying the same thing over and over and over. So, anyways, but through all this stuff, if your desire or your program is telling you that you're going towards something better, there's a better life ahead, and working on yourself is the key to get there. And so if that is your drive, then I'm telling you, the focus is learning how to love yourself, because that's going to be what the people who go into separation is, that they don't know how to love themselves. They're still trapped in not valuing themselves, holding on to what other people think of them, holding on to how other, like they need to please others all the time, which, what was this one? Because I saw this yesterday. Oh yeah, if you are feeling resentful all the time, if you're always feeling resentful, that is a sign to you that you don't have good boundaries. You need to work on your boundaries. You need to be more true and authentic to what you feel and what you think and what is enough for you and what isn't enough for you. So you have to be true to you. But that's where so many people are lost, and they think it's okay to be resentful and angry and go get revenge and stuff like that, when it's not. That's not a higher spiritual vibration. So the higher vibrations are going to separate from the lower. And if you want to, or you are in that hook to go towards your best self and to heal yourself and to get balance in yourself and learn how to control yourself, is that is learning to love yourself. I'm telling you, it's the key is learning how to just love yourself, and just how to focus on figuring it out, like noticing the things that you do that is not loving yourself, not giving yourself the value that you deserve. And so this is where you're learning your value, your independence, your, I don't know, value. That's what I hear. Value, value, value. Your value. You're valuable. And so learning to value yourself is learning to love yourself. Learning to love yourself is learning to love everybody and to value this state of mind. And then once you can figure out how to access your state of mind, you can have the day you want by directing your energy towards the love and light. And it's not out of hiding and burying your head in a hole and ignoring everything around you. It's like making a choice. It's like being able to sit in the midst of the storm and feel okay. It's getting into observation, watching the world crash and burn around you and still feeling okay. Like you're not caught up in the drama. You can separate and know they are all living their dramas. They're all living their experiences. I don't have to interject myself. I don't have to become a part of that. I can stay in this point of view, this point of perspective. So anyways, that's what I got to say about it this morning, is learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody, and how to have the day you want is always going to be my go-to. So anyways, but I will talk about it tomorrow and probably just be as rambly as I am today. So anyways, have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.